by power, but by Testing.
If anybody would like to take any of the, is it on? It's not on. Is it not on?
I don't think it's hot. Let's go find out. It's also not totally in the right place, right? I'm counting on you to tell me. Oh, hot. We're hot. All right, I'm gonna go do a test. Is it in a good spot? Yep. We were testing. 1, 2, 3. Not too hot. Oh, it's nice in here.
To my utter surprise and delight, there are still families in the social hall. If it's ever an issue, if ever is too loud, just give me a heads up. Yeah, as far as your residence issue. Yeah. But if they give me a nod or something.
We'll close the doors. Blake. They already did.
Ooh, sesh.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome everyone who's joining us inside. We're very excited that the early service and socializing from dinner is still going on. We're hoping they turned off the mic in there. Great, thank you. We're going to begin on page 10 with Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh of a Rachaman, of a Rachaman, Mishoch Avdecha El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha. Yedid Nefesh of Rachaman, of Rachaman, Mishoch Avdecha El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha. Yarutz Avdecha Yedid Nefesh of a Rachaman, of a Rachaman, Mishoch Avdecha El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha.
Welcome guests of our bat mitzvah, Riley Merkel and her family, everyone who's joining us on the live stream, we think, and those of you who just came in. We're going to begin with candle lighting, and I'd like to invite Riley, Sydney, Leah, Kathy Donoff, Molly, and Reagan Bruska. Did I get that right? Thank you. All right. Candle lighting is on page 2.
Hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
So we're going to read.
V'tivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Riley, I'll be inviting you up again in a few minutes. We turn ahead now to page 20, or pages 20 and 21 for Lecha Dodi. If you are new or you haven't heard me say this for the last 4 weeks, we will sing verses 1, 2, and 5 together. And then at the end of verse 5, we'll stand and we'll face the back to invite the Sabbath bride in. And we'll sing verse 9. So 1, 2, 5, stand, turn, 9. Ready?
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachar Bechor B'dibor Echad, Tishmi Anu Elham Echad, Adonai Echad, Shemo Echad, Hashem Tiferet V'li'it Elal, Echad Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabelah. Echad Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabelah. Likrat Shabbat Lekuven Elchad, Ki Mikor Kamer Achad, Berosh Mikedem Nisukad, Sof Makoseh B'mater Fatach Hilal, Echad Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabelah. Echad Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabelah. Itoveri, Itoveri, Kiva Orech Nubiri, Uri, Uri, Shidaberi, Yevon Adonai, Adek Legal, Echad Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabelah. Echad Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabelah. Ovi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, Kam b'simcha v'tov kula, Tok emunei am segula, Moe kala, Moe kala. Echad Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabelah. Echad Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mikabelah.
You may be seated. Lenny, thank you for starting the trend. To conclude our Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of Shabbat portion of the service, I wanted to read a prayer, a poem, a prayer written by none other than Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. It's called A Peaceful Disposition. Teach me, O God, to seek only peace. Save me from every form of argument, controversy, and quarrel. Liberate me from every type of misunderstanding and strife. When there is no peace, there can be no joy. There can be no love. There can be no true presence of mind. Dear God, let peace be mine to share. And as we transition into the evening service, I invite Riley to come and join me here at the table as we turn to page 26 and we rise for Reader's Kaddish. You can just use mine. Right there. Ready? Hang on.
Yit gadol v'yit kadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Be'am divrach hirutei v'yam lichmochutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'yayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agala ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'omaya
Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramah v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudshah b'richu le'eman kol hol v'shirata
Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yalma v'meru. Amen.
Page 28, we remain standing.
listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
You may be seated. We continue on page 32 with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha chavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishotim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachmeinu, U'kumeinu na'asiyach b'chukecha, b'nizmak b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem hayenu, Yorek yameinu, Ulachem nege yomam v'layla, yuge yomam v'layla. V'ahavat halal tasir, V'menu li'olam abnim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael.
We rise, page 34, Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivon Machato, Le'olam Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated.
Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in thy heart, shall be in thy heart. Thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, when thou risest up, when thou risest up. Thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes. Thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that ye shall remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We turn now to page 40 for Mi Chamocha, the first blessing after the Shema. And our fourth and final blessing in the recitation and blessings of the Shema is Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, L'Shalom. Ha'amidenu Shomrinu L'Chaim. Rosalena Sukkot Shalomecha, Rosalena Sukkot Shalomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen.
Like we're moving so quickly. We turn now to page 44 for Vishamru. We're going to pick up with a snazzier tune. Is that true?
Yeah,
Okay. We don't have our twirlers. They came to the early
we'll
service.
have to see who's left.
Okay, we'll see if we have adult twirlers. It's your
Vishamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'Torah Berit Olam. Vishamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'Torah Berit Olam. Bein Yuvain B'nai Yisrael Oti Leolam, Oti Leolam. Vishamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'Torah Berit Olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz. Vishamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'Torah Berit Olam. Ufhayom ha'shvi'i Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash. Vishamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'Torah Berit Olam. Vishamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'Torah Berit Olam.
We have arrived almost at the standing prayer, the Amidah, and I would like to encourage you, after we are going to sing pages 46, 48, and 50, the opening blessings together. Blake will lead us in Atah Kadosh on page 52. I will make no page number announcements between now and then. We will join together as a community, as one, in the beginning of the Amidah, and then transition into individual prayers and prayers from your heart. And we call those Avodat Halev. And I encourage you to take a few minutes during the quiet time to add whatever you can. Read the prayers that are in the prayer book, or depart and just add your own meditations. All of this week, I'll just tip my hand, show you my hand. I have been thinking about peace. So, and we'll meet at the end. When you are finished with your silent devotion, please feel free to be seated and be comfortable, and we'll meet together for Oseh Shalom at the end. All right, let's rise as we turn to page 46, when we ask God to open our mouths and let us pray. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftaku Fia Gita Kilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher HaSeavot V'Mechod, U'Mevi Gula Lifnei V'Nechem, Liman Shemo B'Yakava, Melech Otzu Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham V'Izrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atarav L'Kodshi Ad Marid Atal, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rakamim Rabim, Zo'ometh Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekaye Memunato, Lishenei Afar, Mihamoka Ba'agivurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimi to Mekaye, Umatzmiak Yeshua, V'nemanatav L'Kayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekaye HaKol. Atah Kadosh, Ishim HaKadosh, U'Kedoshim Bechol Yom, Hallelujah, Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, and your name is holy. Those who strive to be holy, declare your glory day by day. Blessed is our God. Blessed is the one. The world ablaze with splendor. Atah Kadosh, Ishim HaKadosh, U'Kedoshim Bechol Yom. Hallelujah, Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Shalom Rav Yisrael.
makes peace, who makes peace in high places. Send peace to us and to all Israel, and let us say amen. Send peace to us and to all Israel, and let us say amen. We'll say shalom.
In a moment, we'll turn to page 253, or you can turn there now. And at this time, we'll say a Mishaberach for all those who are in need of healing. The list is long, keeping a few people at the top of my list, my personal list. And if after we've finished reading all of the names, if you have someone that you are praying for healing and you want to say their name aloud, we'll say it into the space before we sing the Mishaberach prayer. Harvey Adelsky, Sherry Alexander, Richard Barker, Betty Berlin, Lynn Birmingham, Raven Chong, Ray Clark, Bruce Cohen, Isadore Cohen, Mary Davis, Stephen Despens, Claire Dvoskin, Mitch Earl, Steve Eckber, Beth Einig, Sandra Fay, Aaron and Roz Feingold, Kathleen Furch, Dr. Bruce Fox, Bobby Fredrickson, Lauren Friedman, Bob Gans, Max Gans, Morris Golden, Sandy Golden, Gloria Goldsmith, Judy Gordon, Tom Gorgon, Rick Hack, George Campbell Hamilton, Sandy Hendler, Braden Hink, Helene Holtzman, Blake Hull, Laura Jacoby, John Jenkins, Linda Jenkins, Shannon Jenkins, Al Justin, Lila Kaminer, Jackie Kapstein, Marilyn Krasnov, Cindy Levine, Ken Levy, Marcia Levy, Dorothy London, Bob Lucasano, Asa Luo, Liz Lyman, Lisa Macklin, Chuck Manley, Jody Batmasha, Roberto Mabisher, Arnold Meyer, Phyllis Mix, Lowell Morrow, Greg Mosher, Shayna Batmoshe, Mark Newerman, Arthur Newman, Jacob Newman, Joyce Newman, Lynn Prisant, Kathy Rasnick, David Rechtman, Barbara Rittman, Deborah Rowan, Peyton Rowland, Barry Rosenblatt, Norman Rosenblatt, Sherry Rosenblum, Patty Savage, Brian Schneider, Eric Schuster, Jillian Sekulis, Lee Sexton, Nancy Shallett, Peggy Sharp, Judith Siegel, Carter Silk, Carol Silver, Nicole Aronson Silverman, Dee Singer, Debbie Singerman, Alan Sklarov, Maureen Sklarov, Melissa Smith, Robin Weinstein, Faye Yeager, Yarden Meir Ben Yitzchak, and Paul Zale. Are there any other names? Ben Yochanan, Aya Bavmento.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Those in need of
those in need of healing have a complete and speedy recovery. B'mehera v'yameinu, soon and in our days. I'm not going to fill the whole time, I don't think. I didn't know that it was in this parsha. I mean, I did know that it was in this parsha, but I didn't know it was there. And I swear I didn't go looking for it. But I've been thinking a lot the past couple of weeks about peace and what it really means to make peace between people, between nations. We arrive at Parshat Shoftim, and there are so many gimmies. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof, justice, justice you shall pursue. There are all of these great laws in there, and I could have chosen any one of them, but I did, as I do, read the whole parsha, and I came across a verse in Deuteronomy 20, chapter 20, verse 10, that I knew was there, but I forgot that it was there. And this is what I really want to talk about. Ki tikrav el ir lehilachem aleha. When you approach a city to fight against it, lehilachem, to make war with it. V'karata eleha l'shalom. Call out to it in peace. Kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? When you're approaching a city and your intention is to engage in war and take over the city, why would you first call out in peace? And what does that even mean, to call out in peace? If you're trying to conquer another nation in war, and I'm no military strategist, in fact, I am a self-identifying pacifist who went to a Quaker college and decided if I could be a Quaker Jew, that's who I would be. But even I see that this approach is sort of sacrificing the element of surprise in battle. It makes no sense. And so it demands examination. So that's what I did. I went examining, what did other wise rabbis and sages, what does the midrash, the legend that explains, midrash halacha, the legend that explains laws, how do they explain this law? So this is the first thing that I found. In Sifrei B'Midbar, it says, that's a midrash, I don't know when it's compiled, 1st, 2nd century, but it doesn't really get written down until like the 6th century. Nobody knows who wrote it. It's just a compilation of stories about the verse, about the Torah. So the first midrash I found emphasizes the importance of peace between nations. How great is peace, it says. How abhorrent is contention. Great is peace, for even in time of war, peace is needed. Okay, that's a nice lofty sentiment, but it doesn't really explain what this verse is saying. But then, embedded within the text of this legend, it starts citing examples. These are not individual rabbis. It's just sort of like the anonymous author starts citing examples from the Tanakh, from the Hebrew Bible, of military leaders who sent messengers out to seek peace before attacking the cities that God told them that they were going to conquer, including a very famous chieftain of the Gileadite troops, and his name was Yiftach, or Jephthah. And there's a very famous story in the book of Judges about Jephthah, and Yiftach, when he goes out to battle, he makes a vow that when he comes back, the first thing that kind of greets him, that comes out of his house, he's going to offer that as a sacrifice to God. And those of you who know your Tanakh know that his daughter runs out to greet him when he gets home. That's the famous story about Yiftach. But the Midrash that I read cites a kind of less famous story. So this is from the book of Judges, chapter 11, and it says, Yiftach, He's about to go attack a city, right? These are during the times of Judges, that's all they did, is, anyway, they made a lot of war. Yiftach then sent messengers. So the first thing that he does is he sends messengers to the king of the Ammonites, saying, "What do you have against me, that you have come to make war on my country?" And the king of the Ammonites replied to Yiftach's messengers, saying this, and I imagine some tone. "When Israel came out from Egypt, they seized the land that is mine, from the Arnon to the Yabok, as far as the Jordan. Now you return them to me in peace." So Yiftach again sends messengers to the king of the Ammonites, and he says, peacefully, "Israel did not seize the land of Moab or the land of the Ammonites. When they left Egypt, Israel traveled through the wilderness to the Sea of Reeds and went on to Kadesh. Israel then sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, 'Allow us to cross through your country.' But the king of Edom would not consent. So they also sent a mission to the king of Moab, and he also refused. So Israel, after staying in Kadesh, traveled on through the wilderness, skirting the land of Edom and the land of Moab. They kept to the east of the land of Moab until they encamped on the other side of the Arnon. And since Moab ends at the Arnon, they never entered Moabite territory." That's Yiftach's messengers saying, "That's not how it happened. I understand that you've got this grudge against us because you think that we took your land and we did all those things, but we didn't do those things. Here's the map. I'll show you. We spent a lot of time on a circuitous journey, but we never entered Moabite territory." Okay. So I guess the Midrash is telling us this is the way you should do it. Don't just go in and start, vandalizing and sacking the city and taking over and being terrible. First, send some messengers and at least try to come to an agreement, maybe. I don't know. It's better to stretch out a hand and sign a peace treaty, even if it's just a piece of paper. Okay. So I don't know if you're happy with that one. I can stop now, but that one didn't really scratch my itch either. So according to another midrash in Bamidbar Rabbah, Moses himself had to convince God that this is the right approach in dealing with enemies. So let me back up for a minute. Now we're in Parshat Shoftim. Moses is telling the people everything that happened in the wilderness because they're about to cross into the land, and they're going to have to dispossess the nations that are already living there. And God tells them this is a war. It's a holy war, right? On God's behalf. God kind of promises, this is the land I promised you. You're going to win this war. And Moses is basically, according to the Midrash, telling God, okay, that's great, and we're supposed to go in and smite them and cut down all of their, rip down all of their altars and dispossess them. But before we do that, we're going to send some messengers. So God tells Moses, this is back in Deuteronomy 2, many weeks ago in the story, God tells Moses to wage war with Sichon, even though Sichon did not want to go to war with Israel. It says, Kumu se'u ve'ivru et nachal Arnon. There's that Arnon again. Get up, God, to the people, to Moses. Set out across that Wadi Arnon. See, Re'eh, I give into your power, into your hand, biyadcha, Sichon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and all of his land. Begin the occupation now. Engage him in battle. Moses did not carry out God's plan. In his own words, in verses 27 and 28, Moses says, I sent messengers into the wilderness of Kedemot to King Sichon of Heshbon with an offer of peace. I sent messengers with divrei shalom, words of peace, saying, let me pass through your country. I will keep strictly to the highway, turning off neither to the right nor to the left. Oh, That's a good one. Moses says to God, your plan is fine, I get it. I get it that you want us to go to battle and begin an occupation of that land, but I have a different plan. And I'm going to send these messengers with divrei shalom. So the Midrash is now retelling that story, and it's kind of reminding us this is the right way to do it. The Midrash actually reads these verses in Deuteronomy 2 as a disagreement between God and Moses. God preferred to attack without warning. That's the right military strategy. But Moses instead did the opposite and reached out in peace. And so the Midrash tells us, God learned a message, a lesson from Moshe Rabbeinu, from Moses, our rabbi, our teacher. And God says, Lamadtani, you, Moses, have taught me. And following Moses' example, God then establishes this law in our parsha, saying, Ki tikrav el ir lehilachem aleha. When you come forward to attack a city, when you approach a city and you want to attack, first, vikarata eleha l'shalom. First, reach out in peace. Call out to the city and its leaders in peace. In the Musar literature, which for those of you who are studying with me on Shabbat mornings, you know that Musar literature it's a kind of collection of ethical teachings. And in this one particular book, which I love the name of the book, it's called Shnei Luchot Habrit, right, the two tablets of the covenant, which was written by Rabbi Isaiah Halevi Horovitz in Ottoman Palestine in the early 17th century. I just want to say that again. So Moses teaches God way back then, right? Moses teaches God that the way that you come to a people, even if you want to dispossess them, is first you reach out in peace and see if there's another way. And then the Musar literature, and God says, oh yeah, lamati, all right, I learned something from you, Moses. You're right, I'm going to actually put that in my book. That's going to be a law that I give you now. And then in Musar literature, Rabbi Horovitz, in Ottoman Palestine in the early 17th century, says the outstanding lesson about the importance of the pillar shalom, peace, is that even while discussing the preparations underway to invade the land of the enemy, the Torah speaks about Israel offering a peaceful solution to the problems it encounters with its neighbors. He wrote this when the land of Israel, when Jerusalem, right, was under Ottoman rule, and things were a little messy back then. The Torah itself considers peace to be such an important pillar, such an important value of our very existence, that even while we're creating our military strategies for invading the enemy's land, we have to think about peaceful solutions first. Rabbi Horovitz teaches that the Torah, Jewish wisdom writ large, that was needed by his generation in Ottoman Palestine in the early 17th century, is the same wisdom that is relevant and needed in every generation. And that's what I've been thinking about this week. We need that same Jewish wisdom right here from Parshat Shoftim. The reason why it's relevant is because human beings are going to wage war. Apparently, seeking conflict is encoded in our DNA. But the teachings that are embedded in our Torah and amplified by the rabbis throughout the ages aim for us to elevate our behavior, even when we are waging war. Wars are written about in the Torah. There's a lot of violence in the whole Tanakh. Wars are written about in the Torah, according to Rabbi Horovitz, mipnei darchei shalom, for the sake of peace, as we learn in Proverbs, diracheha darchei noam, v'chol netivoteha shalom. Her ways, the Torah's ways, are ways of pleasantness, noam, and all of her paths lead to peace. May that be so in our generation as well. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Elena? We turn to page 282, and we rise for Aleinu, which isn't such a peaceful prayer. But it's a hopeful prayer that there'll be peace in our future. Page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekenu l'aliotzer bereshit, shelo asanagoye aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kalkenu kachem, v'goralenu kechol amonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malkei hamlakim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, vayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, ushemo echad.
You may be seated. In a moment, it's a lot of up and down, so Jewish calisthenics. In a moment, after I read the yahrzeit lists, we'll invite everyone to rise for Mourner's Kaddish. That's found on page 294. Before we recite the Kaddish, I'm going to read the yahrzeit list for this week. If you are here and your family member or loved one's name is read, you may stand up as I say their name, and then I'll read the 11-month list as well. Beulah Cohen, Phyllis Cooper, Louis Eckstein, Nathaniel Feldman, Dean Gillespie, Anna Gochman, Eileen Gochman? I had a note. Anna Gochman, Eileen Goldstein, Florence Gottlieb, Claire Sue Hack, Estelle Kuttner, Harriet Levine, Rebecca Levitsky, Frank Levy, Jacqueline Lundstead, Morton Benjamin Marks, Bart Siegel, Faye Siegel, Philip Swartz, Zender Weissman, Martin Wolstein, Louis Zinko, Charlene Jacoby, Barbara Wolin-Kirschner, Stephanie Cooper-Schulman, Francine Friedlander, Arlene Maniak, Clyde Teasley, Emily Jane Edelstein, Jeffrey Boos Sibben, Gordon Goldsmith, Hartley Stephen Spat, David Benowitz, Josh Yellen, Leon Reckman, Robert Shaw, Roger Despens, Elon David Masseri, Betty Besser, Marlene Kaplan, Edith Ekber, Jay Anthony, Marcia Kurtz, Bernice Bunny Mayer, Melody Hudgens, Philip Kaufman, Jessica Berkeley, Eva Rothstein, David Bemis, Henry Meininger, Bridget Paon, and Dennis Lebo. We invite everyone, please, to rise in support of those who are reciting the Kaddish for loved ones. Page 294. Please join with me. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alma Divrach Chirutei v'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shloma Rabba min Shemaya, Yehei Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olmeo maya, Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, La'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiram b'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shloma Rabba min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. You may be seated. I guess I'm a little off my game, sorry. At this time, though, I have notes. I'm so pleased to invite Ashley Conant, who's a member of our Board of Trustees, to make a presentation of gifts to Riley. So Riley, come on up. These are gifts. You don't have to lead anything. You just get gifts. That's great.
And I'm not so scary because I've known her since the day I moved here 10 years ago. So.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Hi, Riley. You did a wonderful job, and you look stunning. You look so grown up. You don't look like the little girl who played soccer for my husband for all those years. But on behalf of Temple Kol Emeth, we brought you the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, our Jewish fundamental text. The second gift that you're getting is a J Girl's Guide, and I know you're going to be reading it on the way home, providing practical advice about Judaism as a compass for the journey through adolescence. On behalf of WRJ, we present you with a set of crystal candlesticks. And on behalf of the Men's Club, we present you with a Jewish star necklace. And hopefully you will use these gifts as often as you can and remember this wonderful, wonderful weekend with you and your family. And I'm sure you're going to do great tomorrow. So on behalf of the Temple, Mazel Tov.
Sandy Davis is going to come up and make some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
There is so much going on at TKE, so please make sure to read through your program to learn about what's going on. I want to highlight a couple of items. To begin with, I'd like to thank the Merkel family for sponsoring tonight's Oneg in honor of Raleigh's bat mitzvah tomorrow. This Sunday at 11 a.m., you are invited to attend the in-person town hall meeting for our senior rabbi search in the social hall. Head to the High Holiday Hub for all things High Holidays at TKE. Need the service schedule? Will a guest be joining you this year? Do you want to remember a loved one in your Yisker memorial book? All this and more can be found on the Hub. Please check out kolemeth.net and read the Tekiah on Tuesday mornings to learn more about these activities and everything else going on. Please join us in the social hall for our Oneg following services. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. One more announcement. Okay, it's all good. But I know I'm standing between us and a delicious Oneg. So as I made the announcement last week, I'm just going to do one more plug. We have begun. Today was the first of Elul. The sun has set. It's the second of Elul. We're in the final month preparing on our spiritual preparation for Rosh Hashanah, getting right with ourselves and with each other as we begin the new year of 5784. And we are ready. Are we ready? We are ready. We're getting ready to show up for ourselves and for each other. In addition to getting ready ethically, if you want to come back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, focusing on individual ethical refinement at Torah study, TK is offering 3 more opportunities in the next 3 weeks for us to gather as a community and prepare ourselves emotionally and spiritually. The first is next week, a lunch and learn on Wednesday, asking forgiveness, when, how often, and what if you're too late? So together we'll explore why it is so difficult to say I'm sorry and how forgiving ourselves can help us learn to forgive each other. The second program is an evening program the following Wednesday. It's called Distillation of Psalm 27, and no, we will not be making whiskey. Using a technique, we're going to be making poems. Using a technique called blackout poetry, we're going to examine the biblical poem of Psalm 27 and create our own illustrated prayer poems for the High Holy Days. I promised last week, and I stand by this promise, no creative writing or artistic experience is required. But registration is required for these 2 programs that I mentioned so that we can ensure we have sufficient supplies and snacks. Please head to the Hub to register for these 2 events. They're filling up. No, really. I mean, it's good. We have registration, so I want to know how many of you to bring magic markers for. The third opportunity will be a more serious one, Slichot, which is Saturday, September 9th. No reservation necessary. We will be opening, Slichot is the opening service, really, for the High Holy Days. It's held the Saturday evening before Rosh Hashanah. We will be opening the evening with Havdalah. There will be study, discussion, song, prayer, and for me, the most beautiful, I guess, uplifting piece is that everyone who participates will be invited to assist in dressing the Sifrei Torah in their white mantles as we prepare the sanctuary itself for the High Holy Day season. After Kiddush and Motzi, we're looking forward to seeing you at the Oneg. Please make your way after Kiddush and Motzi to the social hall through the back doors, and be sure to return your Sidurim when you go. There are carts outside. And before we close, I just want to, Yasher Koach to you, Blake. Thanks always for leading us, as you will in Kiddush. And I wanted to shout out to our all tech things director, Steve. Thank you very much for handling our technology this evening and tomorrow morning in advance. Okay, Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. See you at the Oneg.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.